Hey guys, Barky here, welcome back to another Iceberg video. In this video we'll be covering Tier 4, the Five Nights at Freddy's Iceberg, so strap in, grab yourself another Coke Zero, and let's get started. As usual, don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. And one more thing before you get started, a commenter has said I sound like angsty teen from Sister Location, and to that I'd like you to come with me on a journey through this vent. So, funny story, a dead body was found in this vent once. Okay, so, not that funny, but it's a story. Leave a comment if you want to hear more impressions. Okay, on with the iceberg. Argumentative, standards, elevation, passive, heights. This entry refers to what this audio clip from Sister Location might be saying. Here's the audio at normal speed. Here's it sped up.
Argumentative, standards, elevation, passive, heights.
Speculation online has some believing that the voice is saying the words argumentative, standards, elevation, passive, and heights as an acronym for the word phase, referring to the angsty teen phase. What do you guys think? Buff security breach teaser trailer. This refers to a troll post made on Reddit featuring a teaser the user claimed was from scottgames.com for a security breach. The image features a backshot of Glamrock Freddy with the caption, "Buff," and even Dawko fell for it in the comments. Creepin' Towards the Door FNAF song. This is a song uploaded by the YouTuber Griffinilla, which is a really nice jazzy composition. You should definitely check it out. If you keep following him, you will only finish a story. There is something more important for you to do. This is an unused line that was supposed to be said by Glitch Bear in FNAF World. There's a ton of speculation as to what this line was supposed to be referring to. Sister Location double meaning. Some believe that the title of the 5th installment of the FNAF franchise, Sister Location, has a double meaning. If you take the title at face value, then it obviously refers to another Freddy Fazbear's location, but if we look a little deeper, we can see that it might also be referring to the fact that Michael Afton's goal in Sister Location is to locate his sister and put her back together. What FNAF character are you quizzes? This entry refers to those quizzes you find all over the internet that you take in order to find out what FNAF character you are or which one you resemble. And I took one from proprofs.com and it said I was Mangle. And if you take the quiz, let me know what you got in the comments. I linked the quiz in the description. Character sings the FNAF song. This is a YouTube video uploaded by SGF Animation where they go through what they think the different FNAF characters would sound like if they could sing, and some of the takes are very interesting, I must say. I did not imagine Bonnie to be a tenor. Fourth Afton kid is the kid in the Freddy mask. In the final FNAF 4 cutscene, Michael Afton and his friends put the crying child into Fredbear's mouth where he bites down on the child's head, and one of Michael's friends is the subject of this entry, specifically the one with the Freddy mask. For some reason, he is speculated to be William Afton's 4th child, although it's only ever been confirmed that he had 3 children. 6'8" and Withered Chica's mouth. When Withered Chica is T-posing while looking into one of the cameras, in FNAF 2, her mouth is wide open. If you look very closely inside, you might be able to see something on her endoskeleton that looks like a 6 or an 8. And this could be something, but it could also be nothing. What do you guys think? Afton's head is actually normal. Some people, after looking at SPRINGTRAP, thought Afton's head was unusually long, like in the forehead area, and this probably has to do with the model being proportionally realistic, as a normal human head wouldn't be able to fit in the mask if it wasn't elongated. Animatronic JUMPSCARE Factory. This is a mobile app that allows you to create your own animatronic characters and make them jump scare you and other people. The description reads, Animatronic JUMPSCARE Factory isn't your typical character creator. Aside from allowing you to make thousands of combinations of characters, you can even view the animated jump scare of your creation and record your own custom screams. At the minigame lab, you can blast away enemies to survive the 5 hours of the night in Shootout Showdown, or hunt down wanted animatronics in quest mode to even unlock more parts. The possibilities are endless. Get ready to create your own nightmares. Whether you want to experience the thrill of barely surviving until morning in Shootout or scare your friends in surprise mode, the animatronic jumpscare factory has it all. Animatronics Corrupted. This is another mobile game based on FNAF. Its description reads, survive the nights while defending against terrifying animatronics. As you progress, their difficulty will crank up and more of them will appear. Each animatronic has a unique ability, and they help each other to keep on distracting you, and eventually even jump scaring you. Occasionally, you will unlock more animatronics in the custom mode. In this section, you will be able to create your own custom night by changing the difficulty of the animatronics. After beating your custom level, you get points for each animatronic depending on their difficulty. If you're brave enough, you can even try setting them all up to the highest difficulty and getting the highest amount of points in the game, and doing so will grant you access to something mysterious. Aside from the main functionalities of the game, there are a lot of Easter eggs to find. So what are you waiting for? Go on, challenge your friends and see who can beat the game first. Good luck and have fun. Beating fun with PLUSH with cheats. In the regular game with no cheats, after beating fun with PLUSH minigame, you will get 2 hours ahead in the next night. Beating the fun with PLUSH minigame with cheats, activated from the extras, will only get you 1 hour taken off. Black Ice FROSTBEAR'S Incorrect Lures. For some reason, Black Ice FROSTBEAR'S party banner image in AR shows Boulder Toy Bonnie's lures instead of his. Bonnie with a black bow tie. In one of the behind-the-scenes anniversary images Scott posted in 2016, Bonnie's bow tie is black instead of red. Bonnie's guitar was changed due to copyright. Bonnie's guitar, which was originally based on the Flying V model, was changed in 2018 due to copyright issues hitting various companies, including Funko in 2017. That's why future games, merch, and ports tried to remove, change, or obscure the old design as much as possible. Bonnie's tail. Does Bonnie have a tail? Well, he's a rabbit, so yeah, a short one. But this is really only ever seen on Toy Bonnie's model. BUBBA'S Diner. BUBBA'S Diner is a FNAF-based game with innovative mechanics and, of course, a dense backstory. Its description on Game Jolt reads, you're the handyman of the brand new BUBBA'S Diner. Expect the unexpected. Enjoy the reopening. The new BUBBA'S Diner has the most advanced animatronic models of the city, Bubba and Pork Patch. Let your kids enjoy their songs and play while you take a breath and eat our delicious food. Camera flipping glitch. A FNAF 1 glitch that allows you to keep flipping the cameras up and down to survive Bonnie and Chica's jump scares. Skilled players can continue this up to 6 a.m. Chica's Feeding Frenzy. This is an unused, unfinished minigame in Security Breach that was probably supposed to have glitches like Balloon World. Chica's Magic Rainbow Swearing. This entry refers to Chica's Magic Rainbow in FNAF World having some lines in which she swears, which is unusual considering its audience is mostly children and teenagers.
Damn it.
Complete Phantom BB model. Before Ultimate Custom Night was released, Scott Cawthon announced on Steam that he was releasing a demo of the game, and this turned out to be a troll game. In the game, however, we can see Balloon Boy's full body. Custom cursors. Apparently on customcursor.com you can download FNAF themed cursors for free. Nice. Dark Springtrap. Dark Springtrap is Springtrap as he appears in the cutscene after beating Golden Freddy mode on Very Hard in the Five Nights at Freddy's Sister Location Custom Night. The difference he has from Springtrap is that he is missing an ear wire and a pelvis. Diagonal walking in FNAF World. This refers to the fact that until update 1.24, you couldn't walk diagonally in the FNAF World overworld. The inability to make this maneuver before the update caused a lot of annoyed players to take to Reddit to post about the issue. Fan and Pearl. Fan and Pearl are unlockable bites in FNAF World. The fan is a gray-white fan that is unlocked right after unlocking all 48 characters, and it will stand in the front of the party and can't be killed. It automatically boosts your party, and it randomly shoots a lot of lasers at the enemies. The Pearl heals party members slowly and is obtained after getting the Pearl from Dee Dee's fishing hole 5 times. It does not take up a bite space. Fan-made cupcake model used in PAX East Help Wanted demo. The cupcake from the PAX East demo and some screenshots has a slightly different model with early color textures for the frosting and wrapper. It turns out to be a fan model made by Super Kerbin in 2015 and ultimately was replaced by Scott's official model a while later. Fan Games at Freddy's. Fan Games at Freddy's was a game jam event organized by Fiznam and Buzzek. The event lasted 2 months from December 1st, 2018 to February 2nd, 2019, and the participants had to develop a FNAF game consistent with the game jam's theme, which is working at Freddy's before the event ends. After that, all the players voted on the game they liked the most by February 17th. Fetch was going to be called Sparky. Fetch is a major antagonist in the first story of the Fazbear Frights Fetch. He was one of the animatronics at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Fetch is believed to be inspired by Sparky the dog from a leaked FNAF game image, which turned out to be fan-made. Five Nights at Love. Five Nights at Love is a FNAF-themed dating simulator available on the Amazon, Google, and Apple app stores, as well as on GameJolt. Its description reads, "You are the new security guard, and you can talk to the animatronics which live in the place and gain their love. Like other dating sims, you gain love points every time you talk to or do something with them. See what happens if you get 100% on a route. Pretty simple. Like in FNAF, the animatronics will move around in the camera locations, and it may be harder to find that one animatronic you want to date." Flashlight Freeze. This is an unused map in FNAF VR, and it has vents and all the classic animatronics, and I imagine the game would have been like the game's statues I'm sure we've all played a variation of. A brief description is that you have one person who is it, and if the person who is it looks at you, you can't move. If they see you move, you're out. The objective of the game is to touch the person who is it, and it's really fun in large groups of people, and I imagine this mode would be similar, as in, if you shine the flashlight on an incoming animatronic, they couldn't attack you, but meanwhile, every other one is moving toward you. FNAF 3 map is Anim Dude. If you turn the FNAF 3 map upside down, it looks very similar to Scott Cawthon's avatar he uses on all his social media profiles, which is Anim Dude. FNAF 4 2020-2020 mode. Surprise, FNAF 4 has a Night 8, and you can unlock it by going to the extra page and typing 20202020. If you're on a console, scroll down to Nightmare mode and press XYXYXYXY. FNAF is banned in Albania. The Albanian government once considered banning all the FNAF games because of its disturbing lore. Thankfully they changed their minds, though some people to this day believe they did in fact ban it. FNAF Liminal Spaces. A liminal space is the time between the what was and the what's next. It is a place of transition, waiting, and not knowing. There are pictures of places and environments that supposedly represent this definition of liminal space, and many maintain that a lot of the areas in the FNAF games are good representations of these spaces. For example, the hallways in FNAF 1. FNAF Scratch Band. Scratch is a free educational block-based programming language that is developed by a group at MIT. On November 16th, 2015, Speak Visually announced that FNAF led to mass issues such as nightmares and some school districts banning Scratch, which means that restrictions will be laid out to these projects and projects with jump scares and frightening content will be unshared. However, this caused complaints from the FNAF fan base, which led to the exaggeration that FNAF was banned was more likely due to misunderstanding and flaming in the announcement topic. Additionally, new accounts cannot have a username resembling the franchise. FNAF Back in the 80s. This is another FNAF fan game available on GameJolt. Its description reads, "You play as a character who goes back to the FNAF 1 location in the year 2020. But what he didn't know is the animatronics are still there, and they are thirsty for blood." Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Massacre. This is yet another fan game on GameJolt. It doesn't have a description, and I wasn't able to download and play it, so check it out if you're interested. The Freddy reference in Henry Stickmin. Henry Stickmin, a game known for its many references to pop culture, references Freddy Fazbear at one point. Here's the clip. glass pressure trigger. There is an audio clip of the female AI voice telling the player to not push against the circus gallery's glass, hinted by the game's NDDB page, telling the player to, quote, step away from the glass. Here's the audio.
Glass pressure trigger. Please do not push against the glass.
Gravity Falls coincidence. When Season 2 of Gravity Falls was just finishing its animation, and FNAF hadn't been released yet, Disney released the trailer. And in the trailer, you can see Dipper and Mabel being cornered by two animatronic-like creatures, both holding guitars, and many thought, in hindsight, this was a reference to FNAF, but since it came out just before the game's release, it could be chalked up to a huge coincidence. HELPY plush without buttons. Funko released a demo of a HELPY plush they were developing which didn't have buttons, and as a result, it looks very strange. Something is clearly missing, although without knowing the buttons are gone, it could be difficult to place. Incorrect Toy Chica beak. This refers to a page in the FNAF character encyclopedia which shows a picture of Toy Chica with an incorrectly colored beak. An easy fix, but an embarrassing mistake on the publisher's part. It's all in your mind. This was a teaser for FNAF 3 which shows a picture of two phantom animatronics, Foxy and Chica, with the caption, "It's all in your mind." A lot of people took it out of context and claimed that it was referring to the entire series being in someone's mind, but in reality and in hindsight, it's simply referring to the phantom animatronics being hallucinations. Jason. Jason is one of the secondary protagonists in the Silver Eyes series. He's the younger stepbrother of Marla and accompanies her and the others in their second and third adventures to the abandoned Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. He's the only one who noticed that Carlton Burke gets kidnapped by Bonnie, but isn't taken seriously. Jeff's Pizza. Jeff's Pizza is a fictional pizzeria from the Fazbear Frights universe that appears in Into the Pit and the epilogue of Gumdrop Angel. Oswald describes the pizzeria as a very weird place. The rundown pizzeria has yellow walls, tons of unused floor space, and lots of unused electrical outlets along the base of the walls. On the far wall is a small stage and an empty dance floor. The vinyl on the booth seats had been repaired with duct tape and the plastic letters had fallen off the menu board above the counter. Kickstarter wallpapers. This entry refers to the fact that on his Kickstarter for FNAF 1, Scott said he would release a wallpaper pack if you donated $10 or more, and unfortunately, these wallpapers are lost to time, as nobody donated anything. Kitty in the Crowd. Kitty in the Crowd is a game developed and published by Scott Cawthon for Windows, iOS, and Android. It was released for Android on April 28, 2014, and its description says, select from 3 difficulty settings, then scan the crowd for 9 kitties who could be hiding anywhere. Play again and the kitties will be in new hiding places. Fun for everyone. Little Joe. Little Joe is one of the props for the circus control location in the Five Nights at Freddy's sister location. At 3 a.m., he will appear in your office and laugh, raising the noise meter. He will only leave once the noise meter is on 1 bar when no sounds are being made outside of Little Joe himself. Mangle is possessed by Susie's dog. This is a niche theory that was popularized by MatPat, and there are plenty of things wrong with this theory, especially the fact that Susie's dog died before she did, which was before 1987, and a phone guy states that Mangle was made specifically for the FNAF 2 location as a remake of Foxy, and finally, that Mangle talks in Ultimate Custom Night, which I really don't think would happen if they were possessed by a dog, but lots of weird things happen in FNAF, so while I doubt the theory, I'm not saying it's wrong. Mathman. Mathman is a minor character that appears in Five Nights at Freddy's The Freddy Files. At 2 a.m., he will pop up in the bottom left corner, blocking the power, noise, internet, and toxic meter. Solve several math problems using the textbook at the top of the screen to make him leave. Molded coffee mug of Springtrap. This is an unreleased coffee mug made by Funko. It features Springtrap's face and a lid for the cap, and the lid being on top of his head, and has his 2 ears. Moon Plush Jump Scare. The Moon Plush in Security Breach has an unused jump scare animation which would have had a chance to play when receiving the plush. Mr. Creepypasta's FNAF Audios. This refers to a series of videos the YouTuber Mr. Creepypasta made that centered around secret FNAF lore. The videos don't actually contain any secret lore, they're just scary FNAF videos with added dialogue in them. They're still worth checking out though. Nightmare Mangle Hanging in Teaser. This is a teaser for the FNAF 4 Halloween update posted by Scott Cawthon. It features a picture of Mangle with the caption, "Come hang out," and you're only able to see Mangle if you brighten the image. Nightmare CHICA'S Changing Tooth Count. In FNAF 4, Nightmare and Chica have 3 sets of teeth, but in Ultimate Custom Night, they only have 2 sets. It is unknown why the last set of teeth were removed. Party Freddy. Party Freddy is a skin of Freddy Fazbear in FNAF VR Help Wanted. He appears in the Night Terror's Pizza Party level. Party Freddy's body is the same body and color as his counterpart, Dark Freddy. The only difference he has from Dark Freddy is that his eyes and teeth are black, while the outer eyes and teeth are glowing red. Phone Guy is the killer. What I found on this is a Reddit post by someone who has since deleted their account on Five Nights at Freddy's subreddit. The post is titled, "Why Phone Guy is the Killer?" and reads, "Anyone remember the phone call from FNAF 1 where Phone Guy tells you that if the animatronics were to stuff you in a suit, your eyes and teeth would pop out? Well, how does he know this? Here's how, people who have wasted their hard-earned time to read this. The murderer most likely would stuff the kids into the suits to dispose of their bodies, most likely because it is explained that blood and mucus comes out from the suit along with weird smells, and that only the killer can know the effects of being in the suit. Phone Guy is the kid murderer, he stuffs their bodies into the suits, and he watched what happened. Then a suspect was arrested, not the Phone Guy, which explains why Phone Guy can still have his job. It can also explain why the animatronics were much more difficult to him on the 4th night, because the haunted animatronics remember him, and they hate him. But that's just my theory. You guys probably think it's a garbage theory, but I believe it's still a good theory. In theory, see what I did there? Yeah? Okay. Also, he's the last person we'd ever expect, and the comments section completely ripped this guy apart. Poor guy. Puppet is called Sock Puppet in the FNAF 2 files. In the FNAF 2 files, the puppet is indeed referred to as Sock Puppet, which is really confusing because there's also a character in the game Freddy in Space 2 called Sock Puppet. Maybe it's a reference. Purple Guy's Piece of Toast. This refers to Tumblr fan art of the purple guy with a piece of toast. Nobody knows why he's depicted with a piece of toast, or where it came from, but the only reason I can think of is because his badge in some of the minigames looks kinda like a piece of toast. Staff bots voice themselves. This is a joke that refers to the fact that the staff bots in the Security Breach are voiced by text-to-speech programs, so it's a bot voiced by a bot. Oh, one more thing, there was a comment saying that they couldn't tell if my voice was AI or not, and to that I say, I hope that proves it. Scrap Baby's Eyes. This entry refers to the fact that even though Elizabeth's soul was removed from Circus Baby at the end of Sister Location, when Baby becomes Scrap Baby long afterward, her eyes are still green when they should be blue, as they're only green when she's possessed by Elizabeth. Security Breach is in the same universe as Poppy Playtime. This is a Reddit post on r/GameTheorist posted by Ace the Title, and goes, "Now our world has 2 amazing famous horror games themed around haunted toys and robots and experiments, Five Nights at Freddy's and Poppy Playtime. However, it is in my theory, a game theory, that both these franchises exist in the same universe. Let's look at some key plot points in FNAF. It was already established that William Afton was no ordinary murderer, but even a great engineer creating mechanisms beyond his time. So, after 2 of his children presumably died, Elizabeth and the crying child, he decided to replace them with machines. I explain a lot more in the comments of the Game Theorist FNAF videos. In a nutshell, the crying child is clearly dead, but Elizabeth, on the other hand, isn't confirmed completely. And in Help Wanted, as well as Security Breach, Vanessa matches the physical features of Elizabeth, meaning she could have been in a coma hidden by William. But that wouldn't explain Circus Baby's awakening, and this contradicts my other theory mentioned before in the other videos. So what happened? Simple. She was cloned. And before anybody says theory is too far-fetched, then you don't know what franchise we're talking about. Elizabeth was cloned, presumably many times, just to get a perfect vessel for the character to house the identity and personality of Vanny, just like Gregory and Patient 46 explained in other common theory. So, this is finally the story. One of the Elizabeth clones left and made her own life, which was known as the Stella Graber, to the public. Stella clearly had some mental issues like the Vanny and Vanessa, as she was willingly ready to possess the toys in Poppy Playtime and continue said project with the player. The way Poppy guides the player is incredibly similar to Circus Baby. The player helps both characters only to be their pawn. This theory might also explain which company is making so many Fazbear and Fazbear themed products, even though all the main antagonists of FNAF remained dormant for years before causing havoc. This means that the player of the Poppy Playtime franchise eventually helps Poppy win in the end and probably dies or loses, while Poppy continues making possessed toys one way or another to be successful. Well, this is just my theory. A game theory. Edit. The sequel disproves some of my points, but the rest still seems plausible. Sister location schedule. Sometime after the first entered teaser, Scott hid the sister location animatronics' schedule for the week in the source code of scottgames.com, including a fifth animatronic labeled OOS for out of service. FNAF Squeeze Keychain. You know those old keychains with the squishy characters on them that if you squeeze them their eyes pop out? Apparently there are FNAF versions of these sold by Funko. Of course Funko made them. Survive till 6 a.m. This is another game, except Funko made this one. Survive till 6 a.m. is a board game available on Amazon. Its description reads, "You are the night security guard. We're Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, and it's your duty to check the security cameras and keep the equipment in good working order. And beware the animatronics that activate on their own at night. Each turn, you'll check the cameras and react to movements in the dark. Choose to turn on the lights or close doors to protect yourselves. But watch out. Each reaction depletes your limited power. Keep Freddy and his friends out of your office until you can clock off at 6 a.m. I mean, it's literally just FNAF 1, except as a board game. I don't know how that would even be possible, but it has good reviews, so I guess there might be something to it. The ESCAPISTS 2 controversy. This game once fell under heavy fire from the FNAF fanbase for allegedly modifying the sister location main menu theme to use as the lockdown theme, but it turns out they both use the same GarageBand audio loop. Tyke & Sons Lumber Co. This is another fan game available on GameJolt based on Chipper & Sons Lumber Co. Its description reads, a few years after the events of Chipper & Sons Lumber Co., the newest member of the Beaver family, Mike, gets into the family business. Being led by his father, Tyke, he must obtain items and craft objects for the inhabitants of the forest and many more magical places. Join Mike on an adventure that goes far beyond what you've seen before, with many guests, games, and some dark twists concerning his long-lost grandfather, Chipper. I was actually impressed someone thought of this. It's a great idea. Ultra Custom Night. Ultra Custom Night, also known as Ultra CN, ULCN, or UCN, is another Five Nights at Freddy's fan game, specifically of Ultimate Custom Night. It was created by Camille Firma, the same developer who created the rejected Custom Night series. Ultra Custom Night is more than 10 times as big as Ultimate Custom Night, containing 724 characters, including most of the ones from the original game, and is currently still getting updated. Vanny Meter. Security Breach was originally going to have a meter that would fill up the longer you stayed idle, and once the meter was full, Vanny would attack you. This is an incentive to keep moving, I guess. Vanny uses illusion discs. This is a post on Reddit by the user Revenant925 on the FNAF Theories subreddit. The post is titled Vanny and Illusion Discs and reads, apparently some people think or thought Vanny was using an illusion disc in Security Breach, and here's why she's likely not. For starters, illusion discs warp the viewer's perception about what they're about to see. Gregory, however, doesn't expect to see Vanny as a bunny woman. He says, "What was that?" and didn't expect to see her or any rabbit woman. In the rooftop ending where he unmasks her, he doesn't expect to see Vanessa either. If he's confused to see her, then it's not an illusion. Camera distortion isn't accurate either. Illusion discs blur photos, yes, but they only blur the user. The rest of the photo is unaltered and the blur is described as motion blur. Vanny, however, distorts the entire camera and does so by creating shutters. Illusion discs have an effective range. If you look at Vanny from a distance, you'll see she looks the same. Furthermore, the discs don't make you invisible to animatronics. Illusion discs require a human-to-human-like mind to work, as they overwhelm the subconscious with noise, but instead Vanny is invisible to animatronics and not people. If anything, she's more likely using a chip like Charlie Emily made. I don't know what the distortion effect is or how she causes it, and it's possible it's a variant on illusion discs, but we can say she's not using one as they've described. In case someone points out how Gregory's mind would have nothing to build off of so he'd see her normally, he's surrounded by murderous glam rocks. If she was using a disc, that would likely be how she'd look. What do you guys think? William is British. William Afton is voiced by PJ Haywood in Sister Location as well as Ultimate Custom Night. Haywood has a British accent, so this detail, along with Scott saying that Afton is a smooth talker, and a lot of other details, leads the fanbase to conclude that William Afton, and thus his family, is British. Yeve. Yeve is Scott Cawthon, who was photoshopped to look symmetrically mirrored, and was originally done by a fan from the official Five Nights at Freddy's Reddit around 2017. And this strange Photoshop originates from one of Scott's selfie photos at the Fright Dome event. The meme was later referenced in a couple of games. For the intro of Freddy in Space 2, Freddy's spaceship has Yeve's name on it. From the starting intro of Security Breach, Fury's Rage, when Scott imagines himself being a hero in his dreams, he wears a t-shirt written with the Yeve text on it. Yo Mama FNAF jokes. Well, in Tier 4 with this entry, Yo Mama FNAF jokes, it's exactly what it sounds like. Allow me to give you a few examples. Yo Mama's so fat, and when she plays Five Nights at Freddy's, they can't stuff her into a suit. Yo Mama's so ugly, and when she plays FNAF, the animatronics hide from her. And finally, Yo Mama's so hairy, when she plays FNAF, the animatronics thought she already had a suit. Alright guys, that's the end of Tier 4. A lot of these entries were shorter than usual, and that's simply because I couldn't find a lot of information on some of them. It's insane to even say, but I've somehow reached 957 subscribers at the time of recording this, and the channel's not even 2 weeks old. I have no idea where you all came from, but thanks to everyone who's left a nice comment. I always read every single one, and I always will. Alright, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys in the next one.